What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a couple of different things in this video. We're going to talk about the Ethereum price for sure, but we're going to talk about when alt season is going to begin and the possibility of alt season being underway very, very soon. More compelling evidence in the charts maybe than we've seen throughout this whole bull cycle. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. Okay, let's do this. So here we are on the 14th day of June, and we will touch back with the ETH USD price. I will do like a standard analysis on this and tell you why I think the price is going up higher. But first, I want to look at the Ethereum Bitcoin price, Ethereum Bitcoin chart. We're on the Binance chart here, ETH BTC on Binance. I believe this one does have the most historical data available to us. You might be wondering what this little red line is here. I put the others chart over this. So this is the others chart, right? For those of you that don't know what others is the total crypto market cap excluding the top 10. It's the top 125 coins excluding the top 10. Essentially, this is like your S&P 500 but for altcoins, right? It's more like the S&P 115, right, excluding the top 10. But for altcoins. I put this on here to just show, right, if I take it away real quick. This is the ETH to BTC chart. Whenever we're going down, that doesn't mean Ethereum's losing value. It just means that Bitcoin's outpacing Ethereum. If it's moving up, that doesn't mean that Ethereum's gaining value. That just means that Ethereum's outpacing Bitcoin. Though typically they do go hand in hand, right? If Ethereum's outpacing Bitcoin, it tends to be because it's moving up faster than Bitcoin, right? When Ethereum outpaces Bitcoin, this is when we see alt season, right? A lot of people look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this is a similar idea to that, right? Just another extension of that idea. Right, if we're looking at this, the others chart, you'll notice that alt season happens when Ethereum to Bitcoin is growing. Notice how we had the little pivot right there, right at the lows. We started to grow. And then when did we take our break? Right when Ethereum to Bitcoin was taking a break as well. Ethereum to Bitcoin starts to grow, and we have another alt season. We start to run up. Right? Ethereum tops off and altcoins continue to run, but the brunt of the alt season happened while Ethereum to Bitcoin was growing, right? Altcoins can still grow, even without Ethereum growing versus Bitcoin. But even here, that like finale phase, that very finale phase of this 2018, 2017 bull market, Ethereum was growing more versus Bitcoin. It had already topped off versus Bitcoin, but it was still growing versus Bitcoin, that last final 2-month phase where we did grow here in the altcoin markets, right? Here, we're decaying, others is decaying as well. Ethereum is losing value versus Bitcoin. That was that bear market going into 2018, 2019. Ethereum starts to grow versus Bitcoin here. Altcoins start to turn the tide. They're starting to grow too. We're not in full-blown alt season yet, but once we actually start to pick up the pace a lot here, once we grow at a more unprecedented rate, not anything like we saw back in 2017, but still something like this, that's whenever altcoins really started to blossom, back in like early 2021 of the last cycle, right? We haven't had this. Ethereum's been in the dumps this whole time, and altcoins, to be fair, they've actually held up. I know a lot of people are bummed on their altcoin bags, but the thing is, for how bad the ETH BTC chart has been performing, like you've had a bear market, ETH versus BTC. We did that last time. Look at how bad you did. You're holding up well. You're actually doing well. And if you're holding up well while the ETH BTC chart is doing absolutely terrible, what's going to happen when this thing starts to rip? Like, you guys, we have a huge alt season coming our way. We really do. And at this point, it's a matter of time. We're on the monthly chart here. I'm going to get rid of the others chart because I think I've made my point with that, okay? We can just look at this. Look at what's happened. Look at where we found support, right? And we have found support. We got a green month, a bullish engulfing candle last month of May right there. And our low is right here, right at the lows here. We've got potentially right here, I think this is a very legendary double bottom setup. Look it up if you want to look into it yourself. It's a very classic pattern. I love these patterns. We have an Adam and Eve pattern. It might even be, and I actually wouldn't expect it to be Adam and Eve. I think it might be an Adam and Adam. I do expect us to V out of here. And the most bullish double bottom pattern you could imagine is the Adam and Adam. V-shaped recoveries are immaculate recoveries, right? This, of course, was the last bull market. We're going into our current bull market now, but what I'm assuming is that this recovery will be more bullish than the last recovery. That's essentially what I'm assuming, what I'm getting to here. If we, if we put a fib, we're just basically, are we even at a fib? We're probably like below the 886 even at that low. Yeah, we're even below the 886, so that doesn't really help us. But from here, this deep retracement all the way down like this, you didn't even stop your golden ratio. Typically, moments like this, when you do find support, They create a lot of volatility. Now, I'm not saying that Ethereum has to rip to new all-time highs versus Bitcoin, but it's at least going to get something. We're at least going to get a taste of something, man. And on the monthly time frame, this could imply months of growth versus Bitcoin. I very much do think that we will see months of growth versus Bitcoin, you guys. Looking at the monthly RSI, we had the lowest readings we've ever seen. We're coming out of that now. I would expect some kind of a recovery, man. I mean, we've got a downtrend here. Lower lows, lower highs in the monthly RSI. Whenever this breaks out of its downtrend, you're breaking out of the downtrend in the monthly time frame. You're recovering, getting a V-shaped recovery on your ETH to BTC pair, double bottoming, right? Altcoins have been holding up well, even in the midst of this bear market of a trend that we've had versus Bitcoin here. What happens when everything starts going good? We're going to rip through the roof, let alone the Bitcoin dominance drops, and that goes hand in hand. If Ethereum grows versus Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance is going to go down. Ethereum's the second best coin by market cap, right? I'm not saying that we're going to rip all the way up to new highs relative to this, but maybe we do. But any kind of growth from here, I would expect it's going to be at a very unprecedented rate. We're going to move up fast. We're going to see paces like we did here for that like quarter of a year right there, not even a quarter of a year. And I think it's going to be extended. It's going to be a longer amount of time. We're just recovering now, right? I don't expect that this is going to be a 2 or 3 month long endeavor. This is probably going to last the rest of this year of 2025, if not even going into 2026. And we're right on the precipice of it now. Now, does that mean that we're moving up straight the whole time? No, there will be ups and downs, right? Bitcoin will outperform Ethereum certain months, and Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin on certain months. But overall, I expect we're going to see some immaculate growth. We look at the weekly time frame, and here you can see we're also in a downtrend in the weekly time frame, but we're poking our ugly head up, man. We're looking like we want to break out, and we're doing something different here. Do you notice we're doing something different here? Ever since we started this downtrend, oh, I can't draw a straight line to save my life, but let's try that again. Lower highs, right? Lower lows. Ever since we started this downtrend, you find a high, you go down. You find a high, you go down. You find a high, you go down. You pivot, you go down. You're going down. You're rejecting, right? Here, we found our high, but we're consolidating. We're consolidating right now. Different behavior. In all these years, since 2021, different behavior. My theory is different behavior begets different results. Yes? That's my theory. Different behavior begets different results. The last time that we were at these lows in the RSI was all the way back here in 2019, right? We've been at higher lows since, but the last time that we were at these levels of lows in the RSI was back in 2019 August. What happened there? We were at our low point. We rounded things out. We started to grow from there. We had a market cycle of our own with Ethereum versus Bitcoin. A lot of people think the bull market's over, that we're close to being over, but this chart, if anything, expresses that we have so much more left to go, you guys. And again, comparing it to the others chart, altcoins have actually held up rather well, given the circumstances. And they haven't held up well at all. If you're in the altcoin markets, you've been wishing that you were in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's done way better. I'm just saying for the circumstances, we're fortunate that the average altcoin isn't down 90% from last cycle's highs right now. You know what I mean? Like, they've actually held up well. What's going to happen when this chart starts to pop off, which I'm assuming is going to happen soon? Why do I assume that? We're doing things differently here at this point of resistance than we've done any other time. We're doing things differently. Different results, different behavior begets different results 90% of the time, 99% of the time, right? Doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but I have a strong feeling, man. I'm pretty convicted. 3-day RSI, super bullish, hanging out up here. We love to see it. Again, different behavior. You didn't just get up here and then reject, get up here and then reject, get up here and then reject. You didn't do that. You're hanging out. It's like you're consolidating. It's almost like it's a bull flag. You're consolidating right between these areas that you've been rejecting for years now, for several years now. I think you're going to get overbought, which you haven't seen on the 3-day time frame in several years now. This is a very important chart, I think, watching this and seeing when we're going to get overbought. Not only that, we can tell that it's bullish. Speaking of bull flags, look at this. This is definitely a bull flag right here. You've got higher lows throughout this whole range. This is the 3-day time frame. Higher lows throughout the whole range. You've got lower lows in the RSI. Higher lows in the price, lower lows in the RSI. Look that up. That's hidden bullish divergence. What does higher lows in the price versus higher lows or lower lows in the indicator, higher lows in the price, lower lows in the indicator, what does that mean? That's hidden bullish divergence. It's a good thing. You've got good things on good things coming, man. And likely, I have a running theory that typically, not always, it's not always the expectation, but typically, when you break out of a downtrend, that first move is just a taste. The second move is the one that rips. And this, if you know anything about Elliott wave theory, it actually kind of correlates with that as well. Typically with Elliott wave theory, you find your downtrend, you'll form, if you're looking for an impulsive move, you'll have a wave 1, which is a move up, a wave 2, which is your correction, which we're in the wave 2 right now. Wave 3 is typically the biggest move in the waves. Waves 3 and wave 5. Typically, wave 3 and wave 5 are the biggest moves, which is exactly what I'm saying here, is that the next move up for Ethereum is going to be bigger than the last move up was. We're only going to grow at a faster rate on this next move, which at this rate, I can only assume is going to happen within the coming weeks. We're going to break out. We're on the precipice of hitting this overbought zone, which again, we haven't done since 2022 in August, okay? And that was the move that corresponded with that, right? That's bigger than what we got here. I think we'll even see a bigger move than this. And that'll last for weeks, for months, and will continue to grow. It'll be really good for altcoins, you guys. Daily RSI. You look at this, same thing. It's like it's just a drawn-out version of the 3-day. Got overbought, pretty deep in the overbought zone. That might have been some of the deepest. Look at that. That's the deepest reading in the overbought zone you'd seen since May of 2021, since the end of the last bull market. For maybe not end of the last bull market, since the ending. We weren't at the end, but we were at the ending of the last bull market, right? That last little phase there. Lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price, hidden bullish divergence. We're on the precipice of breaking out, you guys. People are freaking out right now thinking that we're in bear market territory, but this chart's telling us we're at the bottom of this range. We have bullish things going on with our RSI. We've got an ascending triangle here, or a bull flag at the very least. We're at the bottom of the range. It's time to buy. Go on a shopping spree. Look at your favorite altcoin. Buy, 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 buy. Like the Backstreet Boys. Buy, 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 buy. We're going to buy. Okay? We're going to keep on buying and holding because the alt season's about to start. We're about to rip to new relative highs. And the move that we had here in May, in the beginning of May, is nothing. It's small potatoes compared to what's coming. And I think that this will, again, help the dominance drop, the BTC dominance drop. And that'll just ignite a fire under all altcoins' asses, man. We're going to see some immaculate growth. Let's talk about Ethereum. We'll wrap this video up. Hit the like button and subscribe if that's what you were here for. But let's do the Ethereum price analysis now, okay? Ethereum, 1 hour time frame. A lot of altcoins look just like this, actually. They look just like this. Maybe they're following Mama Duck here, all the little baby ducks. You got this like bullish divergence forming, set up for a double bottom. I think you will get a double bottom. This makes me more confident. If you've watched any of my videos today where I'm like, I don't know, are we going to get a double bottom? Are we going to go lower? I've been leaning toward the idea of being at a double bottom and not going lower, but open to the idea of going lower. I'm not too confident one way or another. I'm pretty confident we're going to get a double bottom here. You're getting into the oversold zone. You're not below this low. If you go a little bit lower, you can't go too low in the oversold zone, man. Like, I doubt you're going to go to the zero. You know what I mean? So, sure, double bottom here. Ethereum versus US dollar, not versus Bitcoin now, right? If Ethereum double bottoms here, I mean, that's an immaculate looking chart right there, right? Dropped off, you're kind of Barting, right? Bart with horns. It's like a cat. You're catting. I don't know, and that makes sense for Ethereum. You got the Ethereum cat pattern going on. 4 hour time frame, bullish divergence is right here, right now, showing its beautiful face. We got it right here. Higher lows in the RSI, lower lows in the price. This low's higher than that low, yeah, but the RSI goes off of closing lows, so you are lower than that closing low. You probably go lower. Typically, bullish divergence, you'll expect it, yeah, it happens like in the oversold zone, or at least at the oversold zone. I would think that we go a little bit lower, maybe to close out today. But tomorrow, the next day, next week, with this double bottom, with this bullish divergence forming, man, we're gonna rip. Not just the bullish divergence, not just the double bottom, but ETH to BTC is at the low areas of this consolidation phase, ready to bounce. Lower lows, higher lows, hidden bullish divergence. Ethereum here is at the low ends of this consolidation phase, ready to bounce. You've got a lot of volume coming in, but you're not going anywhere. You're just at the lows, right? It's like if you had a lot of volume coming in and you're not going anywhere, you're just at the top still, you'd expect to reverse. And that's kind of what we did here. We broke out, but it didn't persist, so we came down. A lot of volumes coming in, but we've only made a higher low. This isn't a bad thing. This is actually a really good setup, you guys. And we've cooled off. We rejected the RSI on the overbought zone. That sucks. But we're all the way down here. We've cooled off. We're ready to make another attempt, and I think it's going to happen. I think this next week is going to be the week that Ethereum finally breaks out above $3,000. We haven't seen prices above 3K, you guys, since February. I think that's going to happen, and that's what's going to ignite this alt season, this coming alt season. That's what's going to ignite weeks, if not months, and likely months of prosperity for everybody who's involved in crypto. But for the people who are biting the media tit right now, who are believing the narrative that we're about to go to zero, that the bull market's over, that this not new conflict at all between Israel and Iran is going to have some kind of effect on the markets negatively. Sure, maybe it shook out the markets, maybe it scared some people. It's the weekend, things are going on, there's less volume. Sure, I'm not saying it can't impact the price to some degree, but I think we got too many bullish things going on right now in the space to be scared, right? and it's of no offense, but this is not a new conflict with Iran and Israel. This is a conflict that's been going on since before I was born. You know what I mean? Like literally, and probably before most of you were born, or at least when you were way, way younger. This is something that's been going on for decades. It's not a new war. And the story's going on that this is a new war. And I think the reason why that's happening is because the media, whether you like Trump or don't like Trump, I think we can agree that the media doesn't like Trump. And he said there will be no new wars under his administration. And that's why you hear everybody saying this is a new war. It's not a new war. It's not. It's on again, off again. It's like if you have a friend who's in a relationship with somebody and they're on again, off again, that's not a new relationship. Oh, they just broke up last week and they got back together. Now it's a new relationship. No. They were in a relationship. They took a week off so they could F around on each other with other people, and they missed each other and got back. They're still in the same relationship. You know what I mean? It's Iran and Israel have been at war. They've been in. They don't have to call it that, but it's war. They've been at war, and it didn't happen 3 days ago. It's happened since before I was even. It happened decades ago, right? This is not new. And as much as we might want to believe that something as terrible as what's happening in the Middle East has so many negative implications on the price, I don't think it does. And I actually think before we know it, there will be a ceasefire addressed. There will be negotiations addressed. Iran will start to play ball. They might kick and scream on the way down there, unfortunately. And people are probably going to die, unfortunately, because of it. And it's not Iran. It's not just Iran. Israel's firing too. I'm not trying to take sides, right? But they're both kicking up dust. Israel's protecting itself. Iran's protecting itself, and eventually they're both going to stop. They always go through a ceasefire. It always happens. Whether it's 2 weeks after they break the ceasefire or 2 months, I would imagine soon enough it will happen. I'm talking about things that really aren't even relevant for the markets. No offense, it's not even relevant. We're going to start moving up. If tensions have only increased since this whole conflict happened and people are worried, if World War III was happening, we'd be done. We would be done. It would be done. Tensions have only increased over the past couple days, and the price is no lower than it was yesterday. That should say everything that it needs to say. It's the weekend, lower volume. It should be easier to move the price down. That should say everything, right, in itself. But we're going to move up. This next week's going to be glorious. The months to come are going to be glorious. I don't think we're bullish enough. I'm bullish enough. You're not bullish enough, man. Get bullish. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.